Let's make a cyberpunk mobile racing game. Admittedly, we haven't done a lot with mobile games, so here's our chance to fix that. To start, you need to create a new project. Pick a name, choose where to save it, and then pick mobile landscape and desktop as the resolution preset. Don't optimize for pixel art, and if you want to add a leaderboard, you can leave allow players to authenticate in-game ticked. Now all of the objects here are from the Cyberpunk Neon World and Cyberpunk Neon World Race Edition asset packs. Now these are both paid asset packs, but if you don't feel like buying those, you can still follow along and use another car pack to build this game. So to begin with, this background is a series of tiled sprites all put into a group called road pieces. And then at the end of the road, there are 4 objects I'm calling car spawners. And that's where the cars are going to spawn to that'll be obstacles on the road. And then we have the player character, who is the red car. And then the purple car object are going to be the obstacles on the road. Then we have up and down buttons to use as the controls on screen, and those are both done with the new custom button object. And then lastly, there's 2 text objects to show the speed the character's going at and the distance they've gone without blowing up. Now for the player object, I've installed the smooth camera extension, and then applied it as a behavior to the object. I've changed some of the settings, so the camera follows much more quickly, and it only follows along in the x-axis. Then I changed the camera offset along the x-axis by 420, so the camera is always ahead of the car. And then lastly, I added the tween behavior to the car. And the car has an object variable called car speed that we'll be using to control the character's speed. So that was the setup. Now let's go to the events. Let's start with the car's movement. The car object came with a series of animations for going up and down, getting hit, dying, and then driving forward. So for the car's movement, if its animation is not death, then we'll be able to use the controls. So if the animation is not death, the first thing we do is add an instant force to the car based on that object variable. And that's how the car is going to move forward. Because if we look up, there's an event where at the beginning of scene, we tween that car speed variable to 1,000 over 10,000 milliseconds, which is just 10 seconds. So that's how the car starts at 0 and builds up to 1,000. It's being moved based on that variable. Then, if the tween move of the red car is not playing, set the animation to horizontal right. So if you're not going up or down, you're just going to the right. But then if you do want to go up and down, we have the conditions to check if the up or down button is pressed, whether the move tween is playing, and then whether or not they're within the bounds of the road, which in this case is 97 to 481. But for your game it's going to be different, so you'll need to measure. So if those conditions are true, then we're able to control the car. If we press the up button, then we tween the Y position of the car from the car's original position to that position minus 128, which is the size of the lanes in this game, which again will be different for your game, so you'll have to measure. And it does that over the course of 400 milliseconds. Then it changes the animation to the one that tilts up and plays a drifting sound. And then if we press down, we just do the opposite. We're between to 128 below the car and change the animation to the one that's tilting down. So now there's a car that's moving forward and can move up and down on the road. But the car would leave the road behind if not for the above event, where we change the X position of the group road pieces to be equal to the red car's X position minus 2 widths of the red car. And then we change the X offset of the group road pieces to equal the red car's X position times 2, which means the road and buildings will scroll 2 times faster than the car is actually moving. And that's to give the illusion of speed without having our objects move really quickly. And then the car spawner objects have their X position changed to the roadside top bounding box right, which means they're going to be placed at the far right side of that road tiled sprite. And then lastly is to change the Z order of the red car to equal its Y position. So as you're going up and down the lanes, you'll be ahead or behind the other cars on the road based on how high you are in the scene. So if you turn down and collide with one, you'll be behind them, and that just helps with the illusion of depth. And now if we scroll down, to the car spawning events, we have at the beginning of scene, start the car spawning timer. And then in the next event, we pick a random car spawner, and then when the timer gets over this equation, which is just 600 divided by the speed of the car, so when you get to top speed, you're spawning one car every 0.6 seconds, because it's 600 divided by 1000. And I'm using that equation because that way, when you're building up speed at the beginning of the game, you don't have a bunch of cars spawning in front of you. And they only start to spawn quickly once you get to full speed. So once that time is triggered, we create a purple car at the X and Y position of the car spawner that was picked randomly, and then change its Z order to be equal to its Y position, and then add a permanent force to the car between 100 and 500. And this will help give some variation to the game, so every car isn't just moving at the same speed. You've also got to watch out for the ones that are going fast and slow that might box you in while you're driving. And then lastly, we reset that timer so the event can trigger again in 0.6 seconds. And this next event is just for clearing up the cars that fall behind you. So if a car gets to be less than the X position of the road, minus 200 to give you some buffer, we delete that car. And that's just so that we're not worried about hundreds of cars lowering your game's performance. So if I zoom out the camera, you're going to see exactly what's happening. The entire level is moving forward, with cars being spawned in front, you dodging them, and then they get deleted behind. And the level looks like it's stationary, but it's being kept in place by the smooth camera behavior that we added to the red car. Without that behavior, the level would just drive off without us. And then the last thing we need to worry about are collisions. So the first event is when a purple car runs into another purple car. As long as the animation is not already death for that car, set the animation to death, play an explosion sound, and stop the forces applied to that car, so it will stop driving forward. And then, if the purple car's animation is death, and the animation finishes playing, then we delete the purple car. And then, if the red car that you're controlling hits a purple car, and the animation of the red car is not death, then we set the animation of the red car and purple car to death, change the variable car speed to 0, stop the forces on the purple car, and then stop the tweens, speed, and move. So if you die while you're moving, or while you are speeding up, you'll stop where you are. And then play the explosion sound. Then, if the red car's animation is death, and the animation is finished, use the action to wait 2 seconds, and then change the scene back to the one that we're on to restart the game. If you would like to learn more about the custom objects, like the custom button object in this game, then check out this video.